A human face stares from stone while the ground beneath it slowly fails. The threat is not a curse. It is compression, salt, water, and time. 6 monuments on Earth are so large they behave less like sculptures than artificial mountains. They pull rivers off course, anchor myths, and load bedrock with tens of thousands of tons. The first minute is a warning. Greatness is a structural problem disguised as awe. At Giza, the Sphinx is not carved from a block. It is the bedrock itself. That makes restoration difficult, because you cannot replace the mountain under its chest. At Leshan, a Buddha was cut into a cliff to calm 3 violent rivers. The legend sounds mystical until hydraulics enters the frame. At Rushmore, democracy was drilled with dynamite into a mountain under freeze-thaw attack. Modern giants add steel, concrete, copper, elevators, and a new problem: wind resonance. If these statues could speak, their first sentence will be a load calculation. For most of history, observers misunderstood scale because the eye has no built-in ruler. Herodotus wrote about Egyptian labor, but not the mechanics of carving living limestone. 19th century explorers often treated erosion as decoration, not as data. That mistake mattered. Every groove records water, wind, salt migration, or repair history. Leshan was also misread as piety alone, when it is partly hydraulic engineering. The Tang builders carved gutters behind the ears and across the shoulders. Their myth of a pacified river may preserve a real change in sediment and flow. Rushmore began with heroic symbolism, then became a brutal negotiation with granite joints. The carvers removed nearly 450,000 tons of rock, mostly by controlled blasting. Today, the statue is first translated into a cloud of points. LiDAR measures time of flight. Distance equals light speed multiplied by delay, divided by 2. Photogrammetry solves the same surface from overlapping images and camera geometry. Ground-penetrating radar sends electromagnetic pulses into stone and listens for dielectric contrasts. Inversion mathematics then asks, what hidden structure best explains the measured signal? The equation is merciless. Minimize the mismatch, penalize impossible geometry, repeat thousands of times. For modern giants, engineers add finite element analysis, millions of small bodies sharing stress. Each element obeys equilibrium. Forces and moments must sum to 0, or failure begins. Spring Temple Buddha rises about 128 meters before pedestal systems push the total scale higher. Its surface is a weathering experiment. Copper skin, joints, runoff, thermal expansion. The Statue of Unity is heavier than its image suggests. Concrete cores, steel frames, bronze cladding. At 182 meters, wind is no background detail. It is a design load. Lake Hussain Sagar is a vertical theological statement, but mechanically it is a tall shell fighting overturning moment. The taller the body, the more small lateral forces multiply at the foundation. Now return to the Sphinx. Its mystery is not who built it, but how long limestone can remain itself. Limestone is calcium carbonate. Acidic moisture converts monumentality into chemistry. Salt crystallization can generate pressures large enough to wedge grains apart from inside. That is why restoration is not cosmetic. It is a slow fight against phase changes. At Leshan, the cliff has another enemy: water moving through fractures under gravity. Sandstone fails by grain detachment, bedding plane weakness, and freeze-thaw where climate allows it. A collapse would not be cinematic instant death. It would begin as millimeter movements. Sensors would see it first: tilt, acoustic emissions, and changing moisture pathways. Rushmore faces a different future. Granite is strong, but joints are patient. Freeze-thaw cycles pry at seams with the indifference of a geological clock. The worst scenario is rarely total collapse. It is the loss of a nose, brow, or load-bearing ledge. 4 bronze-clad giants. Corrosion hides under panels where oxygen, moisture, and stress meet. Galvanic couples can turn noble symbolism into an electrochemical cell. Seismic shaking adds another paradox. Mass gives dignity, but inertia gives danger. Inertia is simple. Force equals mass times acceleration. Giants multiply both consequences. Local legends often remember these forces as divine anger, sleeping guardians, or cursed stone. Science does not erase the myth. It decodes the physical event that made the myth durable. The river spirit at Leshan may be sediment management remembered as theology. The Sphinx as guardian may preserve the fact that bedrock itself was turned into boundary. But every monument is an argument with thermodynamics, and thermodynamics does not negotiate. The answer is not to worship stone. It is to measure it before it surprises us. A giant statue is a scientific instrument accidentally built for centuries. It records chemistry in stains, mechanics in cracks, and human ambition in impossible scale. What seems eternal is only slow motion viewed by a short-lived species. And that is the real mystery. Not that humans built giants, but that Earth allows them to stand at all.